In this video, I'm going to both expose me and my ex. From my last video, you probably already know that our relationship didn't go so well. The breakup was so messy that it has to be its own video. We lasted a total of 6 months. And in these 6 months, my sense of normal in a relationship was completely warped. It's hard to describe why I stayed. I knew it was toxic, but I couldn't leave her, which is kind of a sign of codependency, by the way. It took me years to rebuild myself as a person after this relationship. I was basically just a pile of ashes, completely burned out. What a way to start a video. So my then girlfriend Katya and I were together during the start of my most important graduation exam. You know, the one that lets you apply to universities. Every time I tried to study, she would want to meet up. I tried to say no because I really had to study, but every time I didn't go, she would guilt trip me for not being there. At the end, I failed my graduation exam. Of course, I was also to be blamed for failing. Not saying it's entirely her fault that I failed, but having her in my life back then, not helpful at all, not supportive at all. And I think she was being very unsupportive during my exam periods because she herself has dropped out of high school and couldn't graduate in her exams. So I think she was kind of happy that I failed, and she did rub the failure in my face many times. Me failing my graduation exam put my mom on Asian Tiger Mom overdrive. You know, the usual. She would come into my room while I was studying. She would yell at me for, emotional support. She would yell at me every few hours, telling me that I was trash, that I will never succeed in life. I think it's called tough love, but I call it trauma. And the worst part is that my girlfriend just joined in on that. It was like the roasting of Relachi. They were a freaking WWE tag team. But thankfully my friends supported me from the sidelines and I pushed through the madness. And I got to graduate, but only after I broke up with Katya. So I just skipped a few chapters here, so let's go back. What also helped me graduate was that I got myself a tutor off the internet. He was some 30-year-old engineer student and he would come over to our place to teach me all about logarithms or something. And I thought he seemed super nice and he explained math well. What's also important to the story is that it was the hottest summer heat and air conditioning is non-existent in Europe. So I was wearing short shorts and a tank top. It's what I wear in summer. It's really hot. It's over 100 degrees here. And after one of our study sessions, my tutor just suddenly leaned in for a kiss. I ninja evaded his kiss. He came in so fast, I thought he was about to facepalm my face with his face. He got cranky and said, "I thought you wanted this." Like, nah bro, here's your money, get out my place, let's never meet again. And also I should add that he was in his 30s and I was a minor. So that's really bad on so many levels. After that happened, I immediately texted my girlfriend to tell her what happened. And you know what Katya said? Katya straight out victim blamed me. I mean, what could I have possibly done? Asked him to flirtatiously how to derive a function? She then even asked me the "what did you wear" question. Like, dude, no, we don't do it here. We had a lot of unnecessary fights. That was just one of them. And on top of that, I couldn't be with her 24/7 like she wanted to. Because I seriously had to study this time. It's the most important exam. And she knew that. And you know what my biggest issue with Katya in a relationship was? She was the type of girl to have a crush on a new person every week. I don't even know how she does that, cause I have a total of 4 serious crushes throughout my entire life. And she'd be the type of person to nonchalantly say that she would ride the dick of Kylo Ren into the sunset. I'm not even kidding, that was actually a Katya quote. This is something that doesn't necessarily bother everyone, but this is something that bothers me a lot. Cause when I'm in love, I stop paying attention to other people. people, much less get crushes and talk about said crushes in front of my girlfriend. I saw this as emotional cheating, which was worse than physical cheating in my books, but back then I didn't know that's how I felt, and I didn't know how to put it into words either. It just bothered me, and I would get angry at her, hoping she could read my mind, cause it was such an obvious issue to me, but you know, it might not have been for her. At the same time, she was also the most jealous girlfriend and then the most apathetic girlfriend. She would change from "don't flirt with my girlfriend" to "whatever, you can have her" in a matter of minutes. I would also catch her look through my phone and then get angry without telling me why. And now I wished I did the same to her because one night we were laying in bed, Katya was on her phone texting someone. And listen, that girl was on her phone so much. Every time we spending time together, she was on her phone. That night was especially infuriating because I asked her to get off the phone several times. I took out an entire day out of my busy studying schedule to spend it with her, and then she ignores me. The disrespect. She just kept on typing on her phone and told me to give her a minute. So I waited, watched some YouTube videos on my phone, and then I asked her again. Same answer. Rinse and repeat until I was seriously just at my last straw. I peeked at her phone to see her telling the guy she was chatting with, "I love you," heart emoji. And at the same time, she quickly turned her phone away. But I already saw it. I tried to keep calm and asked her with whom she was writing. She answered, "A friend," and kept typing away on her phone. And without even thinking about it, I grabbed her phone and threw it away in one swift motion. It hit a wall as I did so, and from there on, things escalated. Kat got furious and lunged at me, hands around my neck, and I could feel how my blood was pressing into my head. I could barely breathe, but I don't know if it was due to shock or because she was pressing down on my windpipe. And the scariest of all was her expression, as if she had murder on her mind. But Kat calmed down and released my neck. I can't tell you how long it lasted, honestly. It might have just been a couple seconds, but it felt to me like an eternity. I offered Kat to pay for the repairs, but she was so mad at me, so she just took some cab money from me and then left. And that was it. We haven't talked or meet up for weeks after that. Katya was not willing to meet me or talk things out after that. I guess kind of understandable. And it felt like that was it. But back then, I was so frustrated with that, and it just felt like my girlfriend was slowly ghosting me because she just wasn't willing to talk about things. Ever. So I met up with an acquaintance to talk about this chaos, and that's where I kind of cheated. Oop, hello there, this is Editing Relachi. I was about to talk about how I cheated in detail with illustrations and all, but while editing, I realized that would be of very bad taste, and I also don't want YouTube to demonetize me any more than they already do. So, let me tell you what didn't happen. We didn't kiss, I didn't touch her below the belt, and I stopped almost immediately. And the acquaintance I knew turns out to be Katya's friend, so she told her about the things. However, I think Katya might have misunderstood what has happened because she recently mentioned that I would have hooked up with her friend when we were together. So yeah, I cheated by touching another girl's badonkadonks for a minute, but I didn't hook up with anyone. But hey, don't worry, for those of you who are upset with me, karma caught up instantly. Kat and I made up eventually like we always do in a fight, and that's on being toxic together. But it was a bit different this time because we both crossed the line. And you know us by now, kind of. We didn't sit down and talk about our feelings and sort things out like we should. Nah. For that, both of us have grown up in a way too toxic household, and we're both way too young to do that. I mean, I'm now in my mid-20s and I still struggle to talk about my feelings sometimes. I would rather eat my left foot than talk about my feelings, So what's up? You're waiting for a sign? This is your sign. Sometimes you just need to talk about your feelings, be vulnerable, let your guard down. Learn to trust. If you love each other and can't even do that, is it really a good relationship? No, it's not. Stop making excuses for your partner, you dumb bitch. I'm just talking to myself right now. I'm just sitting here alone in my room talking to myself in front of the camera. If you feel like I just called you out... Oh right, I forgot. How karma caught up to me. So, Katya went to a party without telling me. I didn't know about it. And at that night, when I was about to go to bed, I got a text message from her.
I think I cheated on you.
You think? What happened?
I don't know, I'm drunk. It's not my fault, okay?
So, you cheated on me.
Do you know how bad I'm feeling right now? I'm super dizzy because I drank like 3 drinks and now my own girlfriend is guilt-tripping me.
Okay, I get it. I'm sorry for making you feel bad.
Just forget it! I'm breaking up with you. Sorry, honey. It turns out I was straight all along.
What the hell? Why can't I stop shivering? This went on for over a week. I don't know why, but it wouldn't stop. During my shivers, I lost my appetite and couldn't eat for 2 weeks. I did try to eat, but the moment I wanted to swallow down a bite, it felt like my body was rejecting it right away and I had to spit it out. Due to the absolute lack of nutrition, I had no energy whatsoever. I felt like a shell of a human being. The only thing I was doing was to just exist. Through that relationship, I also learned why it was so important to never contact your ex after a breakup. Katya had 2 moods post-breakup. She's either boasting about the number of people she's hooking up with, or, trigger warning, she would be suicidal. She was hitting me up with those messages and posting pictures of how she cut herself on Tumblr. Eventually I had to force myself to break contact with her. Either she's in my life and everything is painful, or she's out of my life and everything is painful. But at least with the second option, I know the pain will eventually go away with time. And that's when I decided, I'm going to get that revenge glow up. I studied furiously to pass that goddamn exam, and I did. I got into university afterwards, I started meeting new people, and I started going to the gym. The breakup still sucked. I still allowed myself to be sad, but I was like, I'm going to kick ass in life. I came here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of ass. That's not how it... A couple months later, after the breakup, Katya got into a new relationship. I knew that because I was stalking her Facebook. Should I have stalked my ex's Facebook? No, I should not have. I did anyways. Her new boyfriend was all over her socials, so I stalked him too. Like, I was on his Facebook page, and then I accidentally clicked like on one of his older pictures. I immediately unliked it. But Facebook sent through that notification anyways, so that's why no one uses Facebook anymore, Zuckerberg! Katya then wrote me a message on the same day saying what a horrible stalk I am, which is fair. Then the next morning, I suddenly woke up to a much friendlier text from her. Do you smell something here? Smells sus. In her text message, she told me she had a dream about us hooking up. She told me that she would want to meet up again and wanted to talk about a few things, and that she was going to the gym and could give me some pointers. Whatever she was up to, it was to no good, but against my better judgment, I said yes because I needed someone to help me with the gym. I was a noob. That was before I started to work there. Then her boyfriend texted me a bit later and everything made click in my brain. Katya told him that she dreamed of us hooking up before she messaged me. And then she told him that we were going to meet up and they had a fight about it. She did the exact same to me when we were in a relationship, and she just recycled it. She was just out of ideas to be toxic, I guess. But they eventually made up, and the boyfriend decided to tag along to the gym session with us, which was fine by me, honestly. We were going to work out on the weekend, and Katya bailed on us last minute. But the thing is, her boyfriend was still up for it. He told me Kat didn't want to go because they had a fight again, but he wanted to talk to me. So when we met up in the gym, that dude was unproportionally muscular. So yeah, I'm standing in front of this jacked tower of a Russian man. Can't believe we slept with the same girl, huh? After training, we went to get some Mackie D's to get back those calories we lost, and that's where he spoke up about him and Katya. Bro, is it normal to cry every day in a relationship? What did Katya do? Then he told me about some stuff Katya did, which was a bit messed up. But this part is not my story to tell, because I was not part of it, and I cannot guarantee for how much of it is real. Okay, back to my side of the story, back to me. Even if the relationship we had lasted for only half a year, it damaged me in a way that lasted a long time, and it's hard to describe why. I think most of the people who watch the videos about Katya might not even know how much it effed me up. At least that's how I feel. And it's really, really hard to just bring my emotions and everything that I went through in 3 videos. I could write a whole book about it and it would still not cover everything. While I was slowly recovering from everything, this girl that I used to date texted me. I decided to meet up with her again because she told me she had something important to tell me and, it happened so long ago, so I was like, yeah, sure, fine. We decided to meet up at the bar in the late evening. I arrived a bit earlier and waited on her at the table. And that is when I almost didn't recognize you, Rachel.